Yahoo! Today we are going to have another self-review game. We've recently talked about different concepts like tempo and castling, and today we're going to have a look at a game that I lost a couple of days ago, and instead of focusing on one key concept, we're going to see how we generally can try to think of a game plan to improve in different areas. As always, we are not going to cover every single position, but I'm just going to highlight some mistakes I think I've made that ultimately led to me losing the game. Alright, we were playing a center here. We're still on the Ichidan level, same as our opponent, and as I usually do, I started with the Ureshino, which is bringing the silver quickly to the center. Our opponent starts with a rook line immediately. We just get our golden here to defend, thinking that this will probably be a static rook, which we'll try to attack here. And at this point, I was thinking that my opponent might be trying to attack us with like a climbing silver. So instead of committing our attack, I just brought the second silver here to be ready in case the silver's coming here, that we have one for the defense and then the next can go for the attack. He did not continue through here though, which allowed us to go on with our game plan. We have two static rooks here, characterized by these two lines that are both not moving, so both have a very similar attacking idea here. And knowing that his silver has not made any approach yet, we decide to commit our silver to the attack here. He defends, and we slowly try to push. Now, this is a very common situation in the Ureshino view. We haven't opened our bishop yet, so our bishop is a little bit blocked. Sometimes we like to go here to have this strong diagonal. And I'm often very happy that if my opponent takes here, which he ended up doing, because I get this nice tempo play. However, he was wise enough to put the gold here before committing any trades here. And after we push our pawn and he takes and we take back, we would have liked to take here with our bishop. So one thing I noticed that I might have attacked a tiny little bit too early. Now we also covered in the last video that we've been attacking without really castling, so our king is not super safe. However, our silver's covering this important square, and we have like a kind of wall here, and there's nothing for him to drop. So at this point, I was thinking that we were pretty safe, but it would have been nice to have the bishop on this square for sure to take back here. This way, unfortunately, we are forced to take back with the with our rook, and he just pushes, drops the silver here, and we are forced to get back because there's nothing attack for us, and then he blocks off the path for the pawn, and he's totally safe here. Our attack did not get through because we only used a silver and a rook, and as a general thing, you very likely want to have 3 or more pieces to break through somewhere. Me noticing that mistake, I was like, okay, let's try to get the bishop in eventually. And our opponent pushes a side pawn and now starts to attack down this rook file. A bit scary. I put the silver here. This was a defensive maneuver because if he continues pushing here, like let's say the pawn goes here, we take and he takes back, we defend, and if our silver is not here, then this pawn is hanging with check. We can usually get the king away, but it's not the best thing to do. So just wanted to make sure that this is defended. He goes for this line anyway, but because our silver is defending this pawn here, he just retreats as well. And you can see we both have our open rooks going down the second and eighth rank respectively. But yeah, so at this moment, I think I made the first big blunder of the game. What would have been nice here is to get the king a little bit safe. We've discussed that before as well. Always trying to have a safe king, especially if you play the static rook, because you do not want to get... You can see like it's a lot of open lines here to the king, so we want to have our king safe. However, after developing the bishop, the silver to the attack as well, since we have our bishop in hand, he finally starts, excuse me, to put in some pressure here. And I immediately see the opening that this pawn is undefended. And he retreats. And now, yeah, I think the first... I wouldn't say it was a critical mistake, but it was certainly not a good move here to put the silver down here. My idea was that I try to attack from all fronts, put a pawn here, and try to break through. Even with like we're sacrificing silver if necessary. And in this position again, like we should have probably we could have put our king into a slightly more advantageous position, right? Either way, he ignores the threat for now and attacks our silver. And this was not a good move. We should have retreated here, trying to slowly put the pawn here, take then with the silver and try to have a double silver attack here. That would have been nice. Unfortunately, we did not do that, and instead opting to take. With the idea of really breaking through here. The idea, of course, is that after he takes back, we can take here with that undefended, and I thought I had a really nice attack here, but again, we only have these two pieces really committing to attack. Sure, the bishop could come in here eventually, but before any of that, his silver just blocked us, and also nicely defending this square just in case. And yeah, basically the attack is stopped with that move. I'm trying to push a little bit here, but of course for him the pawn drop here is a bait, because now our pawn is here, cannot advance because he will just be taken again, and our rook is kind of blocked and still has really no attacking path here. I think he could probably have retreated here as well to trade off the silver, but anyway, not a bad move. And my next goal is to push this silver away. We have it here. He has to retreat and hopefully getting some attack going on the right side over here. However, our opponent dropped the pawn to defend himself, and we did another tempo mistake here, I think. I pushed the pawn, offering the trade, but this is an attacking piece for us, and he also can take back thereafter. So I'm not sure if this was the right idea of tempo. And notice our king is like wide open, like especially this square here. Anything could be dropped down here, so we really have to be careful not to trade off any of the major pieces. He should probably have us taken here, but instead, yeah, he opted to retreat here, which of course gave us a little bit of breathing room. We should have probably either attacked that or retreated them, but there was no retreat, obviously. And knowing that, I went for another attack. And now he just takes, and we have no counterplay really, because our silver is still trapped. I tried to go for like a hard thing here, just to keep him occupied, maybe opening up the first rank here. That was actually nice, getting his bishop off the diagonal, being able to drop this here. Unfortunately, because of the silver and the gold here, like we cannot really advance. I was a bit unfortunate. I tried to do that anyway. The idea here was that if he makes a mistake, remember we're playing with 10 minutes time control, so at some point people do make mistakes, obviously, especially on this level. And my idea was, okay, if he takes here, we can just promote our silver, and we have a very strong position here. Like this would be amazing. But of course, our opponent was smart on that, just recaptured with the bishop, and we dropped the pawn again to have the same position, just with the pawn less. Another idea here would have been to bring over our bishop pawn into the game, attacking this silver. Yes, he is attacked, but you know, sometime in the future, if we have this push again, then he cannot take back with the bishop, and this could have been a possible attacking opportunity. However, that didn't work. So I tried to continue with my attack, pressuring on all fronts. pushing my side lane, pushing the side of the board here. He didn't take here, which I found interesting. He, of course, was able to finally grab our silver, but I was very happy about that because I thought he would take here and we get the silver here in return, allowing him, of course, to open this file. But at this point, we were behind pretty much, considering we just lost the silver for free there. And I just tried to pressure as much as I can, really. He goes away, and we take the free knight. Notice here that I promote. I think that was also a mistake. If we did not promote here, we would have attacked the silver, forcing him to move. And even if he takes, we had some nice ideas of dropping some pawns. So yeah, slight inaccuracy here. And our opponent started to finally push us back. He has 2 lances here, controlling both of these ranks. Oops. And his king is safe-ish, I would say. We don't have anything dangerous to drop here at the moment. I, of course, do not want to lose my rook. Therefore, I'm moving to the center, also allowing us to potentially push down this lane and find another attack, as we know now that here we kind of broke through with that silver, but there's nothing else in the fray. My opponent dropped the pawn, anticipating this move. Very smart. I'm adding another defender to that. And we promote our pawn, attacking the gold. He avoids, obviously does not want to trade his gold for our promoted pawn. And I try to break through in the middle. He takes back the silver, very smart. And I finally bring my knight out here. Attacking here, also protecting from just being taken, and potentially giving us the idea of dropping something here to attack this silver. He promotes. We just ignore that, basically. And he comes out to take our rook. You can see we have nowhere really to go. Like, this is covered. So like all of these free spaces would not be possible. A cat guessed. I retreat to like the square I only found like reasonable, still protecting this. And she opts to attack our rook instead. Is that interesting that you want to watch? Yes, sir. We are peeping interested in the game. All right, so he made a big mistake, I think. If we turn on the evaluation, yeah, this one went. Yeah, he should have taken here. Wow. So we're pretty lucky that he didn't do that, because the point is he takes here, and our rook is basically trapped, right? I mean, our rook cannot go anywhere much. If we take here, he just pushes. We have to go back, and after the silver comes over here, our rook is gone. So I think that's why the engine suggested that game. Suggested that move. Interestingly enough, he instead attacked our rook, and at this point, of course, I also already thought that our rook would be gone anyway. We just go for the offensive. He takes our rook, but we gain tempo here, and that was actually not too bad. Losing the rook is okay, considering we got like the gold and the what was it? The bishop. That was really nice, and we actually have an attack going. You can see like he has not so much room to run away here. And he captured our piece, and I was okay. On this position, I was thinking that we have an actual good position, considering that we were behind a bit for sure, and our rook could have been trapped. So I was very happy with that, and I think I had like 3 minutes left on the clock, and I thought about what would be a nice way to get through here, and I elected to take the silver here. Another idea was to drop my bishop here, not allowing him to go escape through here. But based on some mistakes we made recently, and some things we covered in the last videos, I wanted to make sure our king, who was not castled still, has at least some breathing room and take away one of the silver here, so he doesn't have like too much pressure here. She decided to just move over the promoted pawn to attack. Oh, it's lands, I think. To attack us. And I think this was a slight oversight from him as well. He could have had more pressure by perhaps dropping a silver here. Yeah, he wanted to really take our bishop, and now I think the move to play here would have been this one. I think. Yeah, this would have been the right move, I think, because he has to. Where do you go even? Probably go here. And then what else we got? Yeah, we would have like definitely had a lot of pressure on this king here. However, I think I considered that move, but instead of like using our attack power, I went here with check. My idea here was very simple. I protect this from being taken while attacking at the same time. And if I look at the engine that really did not like this move, it went from +7 to -3 because we allow this king to escape, which he does. I think he could have gone here just to make sure that he can get out of here. And I think, yeah, that was like I think our final big mistake here. Not like a terrible blunder. My idea was very simple. Attacking the silver, opening up here, but we did allow the king kind of to escape. Going here, my idea was if he goes, we attack the silver and we cover the space, right? So I wanted to kind of limit the options he had. Problem is, I think he dropped this one next, did he? Yeah, he just dropped his his rook here, and this is a very dangerous position because we can get checkmated very quickly here. Also attacking our bishop here. So I want to go for the attack, but if you have a look over here, I mean, if you like to stop and try to calculate, unfortunately there's no checkmate here. He just gets away, and we try to attack with everything, and the king is just safe. Still try to attack, but we didn't have enough pieces to finish off the attack. We allowed the king to escape. And retaking here, I thought, okay, he will take back, and maybe we get something. But notice that this is not even a check, and our opponent immediately just captures our gold. And we're basically done for. We cannot take here, because a gold drop will finish the game immediately. But this is, of course, a very quick checkmate. We went with the only square available for us, and then a gold drop here. Yes. It's a very sad checkmate now. So yeah, key moments here for sure. Attacking again a little bit too early. I think it was a round move. Yeah, when we dropped the silver here, I think the silver drop was a bit too early. Should have probably castled first, get our king in position so that thing doesn't happen. And then our opponent allowed us to get some attacks through. We sacrificed some material in the process. Yeah, you too. And this was the point where I was actually pretty happy with the position after we promoted here and we got through this nice middle. And then we made a little mistake here by allowing our opponent to technically grab our rook for free, which he didn't do. Again, people make mistakes. This is a very difficult game. And after he attacked us and we trade off, I think I was in a winning position here. But yeah, did not properly calculate all of the attacking pieces we had available. Should have dropped this one here instead of, oops, yeah, you too, no? Instead of going for that one, because we allowed them to get off easily. So yeah, hopefully you can learn something from that video. I certainly did, and I have to start following my own advice by making sure I castle. I think that's like a key point. We tried some fancy attacks, some of them worked, some didn't. But again, the key point of really not having a safe king seems to be a reoccurring pattern and definitely is holding us back from winning multiple games. Thanks so much for watching and hopefully see you in the next video. Naraka.